Hello everyone, welcome to a mini HTML and CSS tutorial, and in this video we're going to cover how you can center content vertically as well as horizontally in a web page. If you've ever worked with front end, chances are you must have googled this question at least once in your life. Today I'm going to show you 3 simple and best ways to center content to your web page. So let's start the video. Now, if I talk about the setup, I just have a basic index.html file here where I have a div with a class container. Inside the div, I have an h1 and a paragraph with 80 around words. So we are going to center this part vertically as well as horizontally. So the first way I'm going to show you is using something called position absolute. So the very first thing I'll do is I will give a background color to my container. So it is easier to differentiate between the body and the container. And as always, I have spelled container wrong. And the background color will be a light color. I guess this wheat one will work fine. Yeah. So now the first thing, let's give our body a minimum height of 100 VH. So when you create a banner for a website, so the container usually has a minimum height of 100 VH because it covers the entire screen of the user. So we are just mimicking that part. And for position absolute to work, you need to give the parent element position relative. Now the child element, that is this container, will have position absolute. And after that, we will give it a top of 50%. That is, it will move 50% from the top. If I save, you see, and same goes for left. It will move 50% from left. If I save, and it doesn't look good in small screen, so let me go full screen. So you can see it moves 50% from top and 50% from left, but it doesn't look in the center, right? And that is happening because we are moving it 50% from the top and 50% from the left, but we are not considering its own height and width. And if I show you it by an image example, let me just paste a link. So this image that I found on the Google explains it much better. So when we move it 50% from the top, we move it right here. So this is the center line, right? So 50% from the top moves it right below the center line. And the same thing happens when we move it 50% from the left. This is the center line and we move it after the center line. So we need to move it 50% of its own width, that is this part right here, to the left, and then we need to do the same for the height. That is, at this point we need to move it 50% at top. So let's do that. So I will go to my VS Code and we will use the transform property with translate, and we need to move it 50% to the negative direction of X, and we need to do the same for Y. And now if you see, our content is right in the center of the page, and that's what we wanted, right? So once you learn this part, this whole trick, it is very easy to implement this. We just use 3 to 4 lines. And before I knew CSS grid and flexbox, this was what I used to center my content. Now for the second way, we are going to use display flex. So let's see. I won't delete the code, so you have it for your reference. I will just comment it out. Now for the second flexbox method, I will do it in a slightly different way so you get the better real world idea, because usually we do not apply style to align contents to the center on the body tag. We use some other wrapper or some other parent container. So what I'll do is I'll select all this container tag and put it inside main element or main tag. Then instead of body, I will target the main tag and make its minimum height as 80 VH instead of 100 VH. So this gray area is our main tag, and this white background that you see is the body tag. So our main is not right now in the center of the body, and we do not care for that. We right now just want to center this content right in the middle of this main element, not in the body element, this main element. So it only has a minimum height of 100 VH. So for the second method, we will be using display flex. So display flex makes it stretch out completely. Now the next property is align items, which will align it in the center vertically, not horizontally, only vertically. If I save, you see we have it in the center, but if I go full screen, you can see we only have it in the center vertically, and it is not quite clear because it is expanding 100% to its width. So let's give container a fixed width of, let's say, 70%. So it will only take 70% width of this main tag. So you can see we have it aligned in the center vertically but not horizontally. So for the horizontal part, we are going to use justify content and use center as value. So now you can see it is nicely aligned in the center of the main tag vertically as well as horizontally. So this was the second way, and it is obviously much more simpler than using position absolute or something. So now let's move on to the final grid method, and which is my favorite method. I use it all the time to center my content. So first we'll comment out this display flex, and if I save, you see our content moves right at the top. And now for display grid, it works in a similar way just like we used flex. So we set display grid. If I save, you see our content is right stretched out from top to bottom, and then we use the property align items to align it in the center, but it is only aligned in the center vertically. Now for the horizontal one, we do not use justify content, we use justify items. And if I make it center, you can see our content is right in the center of the page, center of the main tag, not on the page. Now why I use display grid all the time is because we do not have to write 3 lines of code. We can just use these 2 lines in one property using place items equal to center. So this one property place items equal to center inherits all both of these 2 other properties, and if I save, you can see there is no difference. If I comment it out, our content is stretched out because of display grid, but if I use place item center and save, our content is right in the middle of the main tag. So as programmers, we need to save as much time as we can. So the easiest way to center the content is using these 2 lines, display grid and place items center. So I would recommend using this because I use it all the time. And that's all we have for today. And please leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more such content. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.